to Super Bowl 53 they go.
So exactly how did the 2018 Patriots wind up here at Super Bowl 53? My name is Mike Petralia, joined by Evan Lazar and Alex Barth. Guys, Super Bowl Sunday finally here, and the Patriots have certainly traveled an interesting road to get here. We were both back at Foxborough covering that Patriots-Detroit Lions game remotely. And we never thought in a million years from that moment that they would get to this point. And I think there were other moments throughout the year where we had our doubts. Certainly the game against the Tennessee Titans, the miracle in Miami, all of those games gave a lot of Patriots fans reason to doubt whether or not they could actually beat teams like Kansas City on the road, but they did. So I'm going to ask you, Evan, how did the Patriots begin the path of getting things turned around?
Well, I think, the two games that stand out to me are the Detroit game. We were standing in that parking lot, and then after the Pittsburgh game, me and Alex Barth had just come back from Pittsburgh. We were shooting videos at Gillette Stadium. We went and got the locker room reaction in the day after locker room availability. And we were talking about the end of the dynasty.
Yes, we were.
We were saying, is this it? And we didn't think so, but a lot of people were saying that. I think the main thing is that we kind of underestimated the mental and physical toughness of this football team. I think a lot of people thought after the miracle in Miami, followed by the loss in Pittsburgh, that was going to be it. There's two back-to-back losses in December for the first time in over a decade. A lot of people thought that was going to be it. It wasn't it, because this team was resilient. They stayed together. They never stopped believing that they were good and going to be coming here to the Super Bowl. I asked Kyle Van Noy about this earlier in the week. I said, we talked after the Detroit game, did you ever doubt that you weren't going to be here? And he said, absolutely not. None of us, none of the guys in the locker room, none of the coaches, none of us doubted it, even though you guys were doubting us.
I got to tell you, Alex, that one of the questions that stood out to me this week was asked to Devin McCourty, and that is, describe to us that plane ride back from Pittsburgh. And he said it was just about winning the next game.
Yeah, and that's kind of where this team's mentality turned, that Pittsburgh game, and it wasn't necessarily pretty against Buffalo. Remember, Brady wasn't at his best, but they got it done in the game against the Jets, and that's where that underdog mentality kicked in. And I think that just taking it game by game and being doubted game by game in the playoffs really gave them the kick they needed to get to this point.
How many teams would have overcome the miracle in Miami, then overcome probably their best receiver in Josh Gordon getting suspended out of nowhere to get here? I just don't know if a team that's not coached by Bill Belichick and led by Tom Brady makes it here.
Oh, that's everything.
Yeah.
This Patriots Super Bowl report is brought to you by our great friends at 1-in-100. Go to 1in100.com/beatLA for your chance to win in a raffle premium tickets to the Celtics and Lakers this Thursday, February 7th at TD Garden. You can enter that raffle and have a chance to win those tickets for just the cost of a large beer. That sounds like a great idea to me. Go to 1-in-100 and actually go to CLNSmedia.com/beatLA and enter that raffle today. All right, you mentioned Josh Gordon, and I think that is a fascinating point because it happened so late in the season.
So many teams.
It does, and the fact that the Patriots, back early in the season, week 3, went out and took the chance on acquiring Josh Gordon just shows you how long an NFL football season can be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we remember Josh Gordon, we kept on waiting for that breakout game. He had a few big games in there. I don't know if they're here without Josh Gordon. I don't know if this team gets to 11-5 and gets the 2 seed and, has that first home game in the divisional round without him. But certainly to get over that, to have that suspension happen the day after that when we were in the locker room, it was gloomy in there. People were upset, and I think the players were upset that they weren't able to corral Josh Gordon and get him beyond all of his issues off of the field. And they were able to do that, and they were able to get over it and kind of put it behind them and move on. And I think those 2 games, even though they were against the Bills and the Jets and rookie quarterbacks and all those things, beating up on the Bills and Jets in week 16 and 17, I think really put this team in a better mindset than it was against Pittsburgh.
And just to tie it back to something we said earlier, you mentioned how this team rebounded from Josh Gordon, and only a Bill Belichick coach team could do that. You look at the last team they had to beat to get here, the Kansas City Chiefs. never really rebounded after losing their star running back Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
So you see the flip side of what it could have been. I think, it's not unfair to say if Kareem Hunt plays in the AFC Championship game, we're not standing here right now. So the Gordon factor, to me, is a huge piece of this and how they put the offense back together. A lot of credit to Sony Michel. Philip Dorsett stepped up his game, those secondary pieces to put the offense back together and still be able to go out and really win a shootout with the Kansas City Chiefs.
They became a regular team. That's what
Right.
Dante Scarnecchia told me, right? Fullback, running back, 2 wide receivers. We're going 11, 12 personnel, 22 personnel, 2 tight ends. We're going heavy, and we're going to run the ball. We're going to run play action off of that because we have receivers like Dorsett who maybe aren't Josh Gordon's ability to separate man-to-man on their own, but they have the ability to be smart and intelligent route runners to get open off of play action, to get over it off of different alignments, and that's what they've relied on.
I want to wrap up here by talking about 2 rookies who I think will play an integral role in the Patriots game plan here in Super Bowl 53 behind us today. Sony Michel, as you mentioned,
Yes.
and J.C. Jackson.
Yeah.
Evan?
Yeah, Sony Michel is my dark horse MVP. I'm going to keep saying it all day. If this Patriots team is going to win this game, they're going to have to run the football. He could have a big game. I think J.C. Jackson, it's very interesting who he's going to cover. Couple of rumors this morning that he might stick on a tight end like Gerald Everett or Tyler Higbee like he was on Travis Kelce.
Why would he do that?
Well, I think that they liked what they got out of him against Kelce. He really shut Kelce down for the first 3 quarters. He ended up losing a couple of battles late in the game. They had to switch Stephon Gilmore onto Kelce late. I don't know if that was necessarily that J.C. Jackson played decline, or that might have actually been planned all along to then move Gilmore, your number 1 corner, onto their best option late in the game to close the game out. But J.C. Jackson's physicality, his ability to jam guys at the line of scrimmage, get in people's faces, track the long ball, those are all things that they like to do with these tight ends, so maybe that's why.
I mean, I like that in theory, but I still like J.C. Jackson on Brandon Cooks simply because he can track the long ball and he has the speed to keep up. It'll be fascinating to see how this game unfolds after the Patriots have traveled such the path to get here to downtown Atlanta and Super Bowl 53. We'll have you covered, of course, on Twitter all game long at Patriots CLNS, and be sure to follow us online after the game at clnsmedia.com. Outside Mercedes-Benz Stadium, for Evan Lazar and Alex Barth, Mike Petralia, CLNS Media.